Welcome back to Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Stay tuned for my top 5 accessories to enhance the Rogue Rhino. Over the last couple of years, I have made a lot of content featuring the Rogue Rhino, including my standalone review, a lower body training session using only the Rhino. I've featured it in my HIIT and DC training series, and I have another video comparing it to the very good Squat Max MD. So if any of those videos or reviews have helped you, please consider using my Rogue affiliate link if you purchase a Rhino. Also, I have made it very clear that the Rogue Rhino is my favorite piece of home gym equipment for a couple of reasons. One, it is the most overbuilt piece of equipment that I have. And secondly, because I don't perform barbell squats after sustaining a couple of lower back injuries over the years, the Rhino enables me to overload my legs safely and give me that same feeling of squatting heavy without placing a barbell on my back. I spent the last couple of weeks trying to hack the Rogue Rhino in the same way that I hacked the PowerTech Lever Gym, and a lot of what I tried unfortunately didn't work. I started off with the Rogue Monster Safety Spotter Arms and 2 rollers. As I've come to expect with Rogue, shipping was super fast and the packing job was phenomenal. The size of the safety spotter arms is insane and they are incredibly overbuilt. Here they are in comparison to my Iron Master safety spotter arms. However, the inside of each arm appeared to be rusty, but Rogue explained this is the nature of oxidization on a raw steel product and it's to be expected. The roller pads were also excellently packaged, but I honestly was not that impressed with the vinyl covering, as many of my other pieces of equipment, including PowerTech, have a much tighter and cleaner looking upholstery. To make matters worse, one of the rollers was starting to split. With the safety spotter arm and roller in place, I was ready to try my first exercise, which is the Bulgarian split squat, and there are a couple of ways to do this. One is to move the handle into place, hold on to the safety spotter arm with the other hand, and then do the exercise. However, I'm not real crazy about doing it this way because one hand is here and one hand is here, and I don't really feel very balanced. So the other option is just to tie the handle into place with the strength band. That way both hands can be here on the safety spotter arm. And I mean, this feels okay, but by no means does it warrant the price tag for these and one of those. Another issue is the roller placement is pretty limited. I would like to lower it just a tad bit more than what it is. However, I can't do that because that screw right there will bump into that stopper and it won't be able to pull this arm into position. It's a similar situation with the safety spotter arm depending on where it is in the upright, because when I go to engage these handles, they don't close all the way because this protrudes. And I had hoped the roller and the safety spotter arm would work for split squats facing this direction. However, my stride isn't long enough and my front shoe is actually hanging off the front of the platform. A one-leg standing leg curl was the next exercise that I hoped would really work well on the Rhino, and it really doesn't. So I'm here, and I would prefer for this leg to be braced up against the roller. However, it can't, so the opposite leg has to be braced up against the roller. And again, it's okay, but it doesn't warrant the price of these rollers. Next, I thought I might be able to get a hip thrust out of this by wrapping a yoga mat around this safety spotter arm, putting my feet on this safety spotter arm and the belt around my waist, but it just doesn't work. So I ended up spending about $700 to get my safety spotter arms and 2 rollers, and I thought I would be able to come up with some really cool hacks using this equipment. Unfortunately, nothing came together. I couldn't even get a preacher curl out of this because when this roller is attached to that safety spotter arm, there's a gap in between the 2 rollers, and when that gap is there, it really limits what I can do. However, Tim Martin says that a roller that goes from safety spotter arm to safety spotter arm without a break is coming to market. He just doesn't know when. The same goes for a seat for the Rhino. We don't know when that's coming to the market either. I also nearly purchased the Rep Fitness drop-in dip bars for the Rhino, but when those are attached to these uprights, the dip bars hang down about a foot, which would require me to do dips with my legs bent and still not give me that great of a full range of motion. And also, when my legs are bent performing dips, that seems to be a recipe for hamstring cramps. Now on to the 5 accessories that work for me. The first accessory that completely transforms the Rhino is a 3x4 half-inch horse stall mat. I made a YouTube short of this about a year ago, and it's the first and best addition that I have made to the Rhino. When I compare this to the 4x6 horse stall mat, this is about half the price and 50 pounds lighter. It's also easier to cut, and it requires fewer cuts when placed on the Rhino platform. I initially got this horse stall mat for something else, but then as I was walking by the Rhino, I had one of those aha moments and said, I bet it will fit that platform perfectly. A pencil or piece of chalk can be used to draw the cut lines, and I used the box cutter to make all of my cuts. I started off by cutting out a spot for each upright, which measures about 3 inches by 3.5 inches. I didn't have to cut anything off of the width, and I had to shorten the length by about 9 3/4 of an inch. The last cut that I had to make was for this pulley, and that measures 3 inches by 10 inches. With the horse stall mat on the Rhino, I can drop attachments on the platform, and it won't sound like a firecracker's going off in my garage. The horse stall mat adds grip to the Rhino platform, and it makes it much more comfortable to squat without shoes when compared to squatting on the diamond plate platform. But most importantly, the horse stall mat allows me to place other items on the platform without them slipping and sliding. The Iron Master calf block is the next accessory that I really like to use with the Rhino. The Iron Master calf block costs $79 and it has a 1,000 pound weight capacity. It measures 3 inches by 20 inches and it's 3.5 inches tall. If I try to do calf raises on the Rhino platform without a calf block, I can't get a deep stretch or a full range of motion. And if I carry my calf raises to the edge of the platform, I have lost my vertical line of drive and I have created shear as I am being pulled forward. With the Iron Master calf block in place, I can get a deep stretch and a full range of motion, and I can overload the calves without axial loading, and on the Rhino, I don't even need to move the arms into place to perform the calf raise. The next thing I like to use with the Rogue Rhino is the Iron Master Super Bench Pro. With the way this bench is designed, I can move the Super Bench under the Rhino and get the seat as close to the pulley as possible, and I can perform box squats with nearly a vertical line of drive. With my other bench, I cannot do this because of the way the frame is designed. Here's what the Iron Master Super Bench Pro looks like when pulled under the Rhino for box squats. If I wanted to, I could place some horse stall mats or other items on top of the bench if I didn't want such a deep squat, and luckily the pulley doesn't come close to hitting the bench, and this doesn't feel exactly like a barbell on the back, but it is easier on the joints for the stop and go action, and it just adds variety. If I were to try this with my other bench or plyo boxes, for example, I've lost my vertical line of drive because I have to sit so far back because of the way the frame is designed, and now I've created shear. If Rogue ever does create a seat for box squats for the Rhino, it will likely need to be bolted on, and it will probably get in the way for things like rows, whereas the Iron Master Super Bench can be pulled in and out very quickly. I'm not warmed up, but here's a little extra weight to show that it does work well. The Super Bench Pro is rated at 1,000 pounds when flat and 600 pounds when at an angle, so keep that in mind when you're doing this exercise. I haven't gone extremely heavy, just 445s on the Rhino, and it seems to be pretty stable. I'm sure at heavier weight, the back end of the bench will pop up. The next accessory that I really like to add to the Rhino are squat wedges. These are 12-11 squat wedges, and unfortunately this company is no longer in business. However, there are plenty of other companies who make squat wedges, including Rogue, Prime Fitness, and a new company called Steadfast Fitness. And again, this is where the horse stall mat comes in really handy, because when these metal wedges are placed on a metal platform, they're slippery, but with that horse stall mat on there, there's no slip. These 12-11 squat wedges have a 17-degree incline, and they can withstand 800 pounds as a pair. And I like having two separate smaller squat wedges as opposed to one larger squat wedge, because I can angle these, I can move them close together, or I can move them far away. For nearly a year, I only performed squats on the Rhino with squat wedges because I found it to be more knee and lower back friendly. And this also works great if you want to do split squats or lunges to emphasize the quad a bit more. I also like the wedges and calf block stored neatly under the Rhino platform. My last accessory and newest addition to the Rogue Rhino is the Titan Fitness single leg squat roller. I've had two of these. My first one was one of the old white ones, but Titan has upped their game, and this is an improved paint job and improved upholstery on the padding. This roller came excellently packaged, and it is super easy to put together. There are more expensive options, but this Titan roller only costs $115, and it will likely hold up to most lifters. It adjusts from 12 inches to 25 inches, and unlike the Rogue roller attached to the safety spotter arms, I can use this and get a longer stride for split squats. It's 11 gauge steel, it weighs less than 30 pounds, so it's easy to maneuver. I have the squat roller set 12 inches high in relation to the Rhino platform, and this feels extremely effective. The back leg is basically just a kickstand, and the majority of the weight is being handled by the front leg, and as you can see, the Titan squat roller is very stable when performing this exercise on the Rhino. When performing split squats on a Smith machine, there is some axial loading, and my right shoulder is not real crazy about reaching back to grab the bar. And grip can be a limiting factor when using dumbbells. But with the Rhino, the weight is distributed around my hips, and I can put all of my focus on the legs. If you don't have a squat roller, a bench is fine, but I prefer my foot to drape over something that is round, and the Iron Master Superbench Pro sit-up attachment is the next best thing. While the sit-up attachment is out, here is a fun and challenging exercise with the Superbench Pro and the Rogue Rhino. Also, Dr. Aaron of Squat University recommends the back leg be no higher than 18 inches when performing split squats, and with the Titan roller, I can adjust my back leg in relation to the Rhino perfectly. And here are 3 of my accessories all working together: the stall mat on the platform, the wedge, and the squat roller. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you found anything helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Also, if any of my videos or reviews have helped you, please consider using one of my affiliate links that can be found in the description of this video. Some of those links can save you some money. You can find me on many of the social media platforms under Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. And remember, if your equipment lacks, I got the hacks. Take care, everyone.